So every day I get asked, what is an ATS? A lot of reps hear about this acronym all the time, but don't know exactly what it is. And it's very important for everyone in medical sales to know exactly what an ATS is. And an ATS stands for Applicant Tracking System. So every recruiter, or most recruiters at least, and every company, especially in their HR department, they have something called the Applicant Tracking System. So essentially what that is basically what it sounds like. It's a way to track all your applicants and keep all their resumes on file. So why it's important, especially if you're in the medical sales industry, is to understand how it works. So after you send your resume, what exactly happens with your resume? So if you send your resume for an opening and it goes to, say, a recruiter or an HR personnel, they'll get your resume and put it into their applicant tracking system. So essentially it's saving your resume and then parsing it. So then a lot of the words in the resume are recognized for searches later on. So for instance, I know a lot of reps out there are concerned about AI, and they say, oh, my resume needs to get revamped because AI is not recognizing it, or I got to put certain keywords in every time and it's just not working out well. Well, one of the key things that you can do, in understanding how these applicant tracking systems work is first time you send it to a recruiter, they load it, it parses it like I said, and then say 2 months down the line, XYZ company is looking for a sales rep with 3 years of cardiology experience in Tampa, Florida. So the first thing that I would do is type in Tampa, Florida, and then I'll put in keyword cardiology. So then the applicant tracking system recognizes those words, Tampa, obviously Florida, and cardiology, and it's going to shoot out a ton of resumes so I can at least start beginning my search. And then obviously I'll keep tweaking that more and more to meet the requirements for those for the opening and the hiring manager, whatever they're requesting. So it's very important that you guys have this understanding. A lot of you probably do know what that is out there, but I get asked all the time, they don't know what this is, and that's why it's important. So you want to be able to not just list adjectives when you're looking to get search words that is going to get recognized by the ATS or, quote unquote AI system. You want to have unique skills, things that make you unique. Do you have buy and bill? These are just a couple of examples. Do you have experience with buy and bill? Do you have experience in the operating room, with specialty pharmacy, with long-term capital equipment sales, hospital sales experience, something that's more specific than just, that you're a competitive, that you show leadership abilities, that you're a strategic thinker. That's not going to get recognized by the ATS guys. So make sure you're putting in, number one, your city and state, number two, the specialties you called on, and then you get more and more unique where these ATSs or applicant tracking systems are going to pick it up when the next opening comes along and they'll find your resume.